That we were working together, when in fact, since May 18th, nothing has come from your department, not one shred of paper. Have you and your attorneys produced internally the materials responsive to the subpoenas?
We believe that we have responded to the subpoena.
No, Mr. Attorney General, you're not a good witness. A good witness answers the question asked.
Now, that was one of the many duels that have taken place on Capitol Hill between House Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa and the Attorney General Eric Holder. And next week, Congress will vote whether or not to hold the AG in contempt over his stonewalling over the Fast and Furious investigation. Joining me now in studio with much more are three members of the Oversight Committee, Congressman Mike Kelly, Congressman John Mica, and Paul Gosar. Is that your right name right? Gosar. Thank you. It's been a while since we've had you on. First of all, it's been how many months? 18 months since you've been asking the Attorney General to hand over information, documents, right?
Yeah, and you know, I got to tell you, as a father and a grandfather, the hearing that had the most impact on me was watching the Terry family sit there and Agent
Terry, the agent.
Yeah, and Agent Terry's colleagues, and you could see what they were going through. So, you know, this investigation goes a lot further and a lot deeper. You know, just in order to give the Terry's peace of mind, give them some type of closure, we have to finish this out. And we have to get to the bottom of why it happened to guarantee them that it will never happen again.
Right, just to remind people, Congressman, these guns were given to these cartels, these organizations, and then they were used. In this case, Brian Terry was killed with a weapon that was provided to the cartels by the United States government.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know, people forget how all this started. This administration is a gun control administration. They tried to put the violence in Mexico on the blame of the United States. So they concocted this scheme and actually sending our federal agents sending guns down there and trying to cook some little deal to say that we've got to get more guns under control. That's how this all started.
We've got to get guns under control, so we give them to the gangs,
for
the cartels.
For 11 months, they completely denied. We asked and asked, Darrell and I and others asked for information on this. They completely denied anything for 11 months. And then they finally admitted it. Now they're trying to dribble and drab this out so it goes beyond the election.
How many months has it gone on?
This is 18 months. We asked in the spring, we asked in the fall. Now the little game that's being played, oh, we're going to cooperate. You've heard that, you know, just recently. They want to talk to Darrell. They want to talk to us. They don't want a confrontation. I'm telling you, there's going to be a vote. We're going to hold a guy in contempt.
All right. Aren't we watching a trial of a guy by the name of Roger Clemens? And wasn't one of the main issues, lying to Congress? Has the Attorney General of the United States been honest with Congress, forthcoming with Congress, and do you think he lied to Congress?
Absolutely not. You know, coming from Arizona, we feel like the stepchild of this administration over and over again, and he's been misinformed, and he's tried to misinform the public. He's tried to direct them accordingly.
So has he lied to Congress?
I believe he has.
And so can charges be filed against the Attorney General at some point?
I believe so. And I hope that leadership and Congressman Issa doesn't allow that conversation to happen with the Attorney General. I think everything that we ask should be put on the table and nothing less.
All right, here's what I want to know, because as you're leading into this contempt vote that's going to take place next week, on Wednesday, all of a sudden now they're saying, no, we'll give you the documents. After 18 months, now he wants to give the documents. I don't know what's worse, that he's going to give it at the last minute. Would any deal like that be struck, or is it too late for the Attorney General to handle?
I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody. This is an administration that loves talking and just keep talking and talking and talking until we get past a certain date. I would just say that right now, and I think that Paul and I agree, and also the Chairman agree, listen, there's an accountability here that takes place. And when the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States decides to dodge it, and we're a nation of laws and a nation that believes that nobody's above the law, that includes the Attorney General. And for him to take a pass on this and to continue to say, well, we just need to talk more, it's time to stop talking. It's time to fish or cut bait.
What does it mean if the Attorney General is held in contempt in Congress?
Well, I think, again, this is the Chief Prosecutorial Officer of the United States. He's supposed to be protecting the citizens. Actually, one of our agents was killed and others have been maimed, and guns have been used in the violence across the border. it's our guns that the federal government and what we need to find out is who cooked up the plot. And there are a bunch of people they've thrown Burke over the under the bus. He was a former chief of staff to Napolitano. They don't want this to come out before the election. And I was on with Charlie Rangel the other day, and Charlie really summed it up. He says, this needs to be put off till after the election. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're trying to do, stall. They've given us, what, 7 or 8% of the documents, and now they're going to say, we'll give you a few more, and we're going to drag this out.
And Sean, I've always learned that trust is a series of promises kept. Tell me where the promise has been kept. It hasn't happened, and it shouldn't be until we see something on the table. I don't think we go beyond anything else but the contempt charges.
But and what happens?
Take a vote. How many are going to vote for contempt next week?
Any Democrats?
There's 30 some of them that actually wrote a letter to the President and the Attorney General that they had grave misgivings about them. I've got a resolution of no confidence on the floor because we totally have lost, the validation of what this Attorney General stands for in the rule of law.
And the President seems to stand by him.
No surprise.
Fast and Furious is just the beginning. There were about 8 of us that called for his resignation before Fast and Furious. He needs to go. He needs to go for many other reasons because of his selective prosecution.
The other thing, Sean, I want to point out is that we in the Southwest, particularly Arizona, are dealing with the consequences. There's over 1,400 guns that are going to show up at crime scenes. Even this Attorney General has even said that we're going to be victims of it. And I'm tired of being collateral damage that's acceptable by this administration.
All right, guys, thank you both. Thank you all for being with us. We'll be watching very closely on Wednesday. And coming up.